so we went out for the first time ever for my birthday. And it was nice because like we went to the place where Cherie is performing now, and it's awesome. Like it is
Was that a milkshake or something that you were drinking?
It was a milkshake. Yeah.
Oh my, that was massive.
So big. So the place that we went to, so it's 40 Deuce, it's at Easton, and like
that's when in Columbus, in case you're not from around here. It's Columbus, Ohio.
But when you get there, like you're like, I'm here for, you know, the club upstairs, or the club. And so downstairs is like a family dinner area where people are having like burgers and milkshakes and fries and all that stuff. They take you through the kitchen, and then they open up the freezer door, and you go through the freezer.
Oh, weird.
You go up the stairs into the speakeasy upstairs. And then as soon as we got in there, they served us a shot.
What?
Yeah. And so it was really cool because like the stage is, you know, you have like the stage, and then you have the bar that's right in front of the stage, and then you have a stage in front of the bar, and then the stage comes down and through the audience.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So the beginning of the show was like, there's this like screen up that says like, it says 40 Deuce on the screen. And then you start hearing the music play, and the whole thing, it's a clamshell that turns around, and the band is on it. And the band is like turning around and like to the audience. It was really cool. There's
like a whole production.
Oh, a whole thing. There's like a zip line, and there's like all sorts of things. And it's actual burlesque. It's not like a theatrical performance of burlesque, which you've, you know, seen before. Like it's actual, like they are stripping, they are like bouncing them booties. It was amazing. I had such a good time. And so we sat up there, and, you know, like we had drinks, but we kept our masks on to just be like, take them off for the drinks. And then for dinner, we went down into an igloo so we could enjoy our dinner. And the igloo had like a heater in it, and it had like an air purifier in it. So we could like sit in the igloo and be like isolated while we ate dinner.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Such a nice night. Like if you have the chance, it was a pretty penny, but I mean, like, honestly, it wasn't that bad because it was $40 plus tax and gratuity per person.
40 plus deuce.
40 plus deuce per person.
You just had to shit right on the table.
Yeah. But we only did drinks upstairs. So what the 40 covered was your tickets for the show, plus like we had the option of, for the table for 4 people, for the table we could have got 2 bottles of wine, or we each could have had I think it's like 2 beers a piece each, or you get like a flask size of bourbon or vodka, which we did the flask of like bourbon. So like the actual,
color me shocked.
it was, I mean, like for $40 per person, you get like all those drinks.
Right.
And, like, I mean, I thought it was a great deal. And then we went and had like,
plus the show.
I mean, like that's a steal. And it was, tax and gratuity. So, I mean, like, it's an amazing thing. I'm definitely going to go do it again unmasked when I get my shot.
Yeah.
I'm so ready for a show. So Biden just announced today that he wants the states to be prepared to open it up to all adult ages as of May 1st.
What?
So like all adults as of May 1st should be able to get a shot.
Oh, I thought when you said open up, that meant like we're gonna all become Texas or some shit. I got scared. I was like, we're not ready.
No. Like open for all adults to get shots by May 1st. Yeah. Oh. So that by July 4th, we can open up for like neighborhood gatherings and stuff.
Well, that would be wonderful.
Wouldn't it be though?
That would be wonderful.
We could have people over for like the 3rd of July, and they can see our house and meet our daughter. And it would just be,
I mean, I haven't seen her since, like, I've seen her once in person.
Yeah. She's so much fun.
She's basically
right now.
20.
Which, she'll be a year old in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Which, by the way, thank you for reminding me, because it's not on this calendar, but it's on my phone.
But so she's been like a lot of fun lately. She's been doing this thing where like I'll sit on the floor with like my, like my legs spread, and she likes to come up and run up to me and like hold you, like she'll walk away and then she turns around and she's like and run up to me. Well, recently she's been turning around and backing up and sitting on my lap. So she'll just like and sit on my lap, which is really cute.
She's got to work those muscles too, like the backing up muscles. Like,
and then we were getting videos from Nana today where she's like popping her head, and we have this like carpet covered like cat tube, and she's popping her head in the little cat tube, and Nana has her hand on the other side going, and she's like, and she thinks it's hilarious.
Oh my god!
And then she's also, we got these big gorgeous yellow curtains for our big window in our living room, and she's like twisting herself in them and like playing peekaboo out of them. It's so cute.
Oh my god, she has such a personality. That is so crazy.
Huge. And then today she was picking up this like stuffed animal for Frankie, and she kept trying to like feed it to Frankie, like take it, and then Frankie would go to take it, and she'd be like try to pull it back. Like, she's got such a personality.
What a stinker.
Oh, she's so stinking cute. She just like,
Are you so excited to be home more soon?
Mm-hmm. I miss her so much. Like today, getting those videos, I was like, oh, I'm so excited. So it'll be nice.
Yeah.
I'm like getting out of school at 3:00. I'm going to be able to take her on walks, and I'm going to be able to do all of that and really enjoy that. Whereas like getting out of work at 6, getting home at 6:15, it's like all I can do is make dinner and then bring her to bed. Like that's all I get to do now.
Yeah.
And so like this whole added amount of time, I'm so excited. Although I'm a little afraid that she won't be as like obsessed with mommy if I'm home more often. Because right now she's.
Let me just tell you, like, that is not true, and it does not go away. Because he's 8 years old, and it has not stopped. And I am with him every second of every single day still. And I promise you it will not stop. I mean, maybe it will.
I'm her favorite person.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's constant still.
I hope so, because I really enjoy the fact that when I get home from work, it like, she brightens up.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah. So, no, I mean, I promise you. I mean, it obviously it will change for both of our children, but for a while, I think I should get
a few years.
Yeah. I think you'll have a while.
That would be great.
But anyways, so, oh my gosh, we've been talking a while, but we are Revolution Rosies. I'm so sorry. And who knows how this will be edited, but, whatever. We're Revolution Rosies. Hello.
Hi, that's Vivienne Vega.
And that over there with the cute ass haircut is Miss Betty LeRoux. So we are just like free for all in it. And I couldn't be more excited. This is like brand new. We've never, except for our very first episode ever, have ever gone without having a theme.
I know. I think I'm pretty excited, because then it's like, what do you bring to the table, right?
Yeah,
like, what's going to happen?
Yeah. And that's not to say that we never will again. We may do like a holiday special or, who
knows?
But for the moment, this is very exciting.
So, I'm very excited about it. And like, just to get into just some of my inspirations lately, I'm going to bring up some, not today, but so I've been binge listening to You're Wrong About.
Yes, you mentioned that at the last podcast we did.
Probably did.
Yeah.
But like, they are just really great at
I'm going to have to write this down.
Yeah. They're really great about talking about, like, in general, just history that we remember a certain way, but turns out it's not like that. It's just the way like the media portrayed it, or the story we were told. And like, I'm super enjoying, they had like, it just so happens that the 90s, not just so happens, but the 90s were real shitty towards women. So they've done a bunch of women that were like super mistreated by the 90s. And I mean, like, it's everywhere from like Lorena Bobbitt to Tanya Harding to Jessica Simpson. They just did like a whole thing on Jessica Simpson. And I was like, I fucking love Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
She's
like a mogul.
Amazing. She is. And I mean, I don't know. She she wasn't the type of person that I'd be like, I'd be totally friends with. And then like they read excerpts from her book. And I'm like, she's super fucking grounded.
Yeah.
And I think that part of it is like, she'll tell you, she's like, I had to quit drinking and start going to therapy. And now she's like, I'm super self-aware now.
Yeah.
Like I know who I am. And it's, I don't know. She's wonderful. So anyways, I might actually steal some women that they do. I had like a thought about one that I wanted to do here.
Can I recommend a podcast to you that I found also? It's done by a woman, and I've been obsessed with her. I found her on TikTok actually because I'm one of those old people that joined TikTok during the pandemic.
I'm going to join. So I'm going to be one of those older people that was late to join TikTok.
I'm telling you, I don't know what the flip I'm doing, but so it is this podcast here. It's called Who Did What Now? Who Did What Now?
Who Did What Now?
And she is so cute. It says what it's about. It says, whoever said history was boring obviously wasn't paying attention. And she is a history enthusiast and reader of books. And she delves into people, places, and events that make history a bit more interesting. And she talks about some real cool events, and talks about, like, I think I mentioned, like, Mother Teresa was a real bad person, and like Gandhi was a real shit. But then she talks about like mistresses of kings that were actually way cool and like loved by everyone, and like it's really neat.
I'm gonna need something to binge because I just finished You're Wrong About. Like they have episodes since 2018 and I just finished them. So
hers are really short and there's not a bunch, but they're really good. I recommend.
One of the things
also Rivals is really good, but they're done too.
Okay. I was
sorry.
One of the things that I really like about this podcast is it doesn't really paint anyone as like a perfectly good or perfectly bad person. It's like people are complicated. Everyone is complicated. The worst people of history are complicated. No one's just bad or just good. Everyone is very complicated, and they're real people. They're not two-dimensional, which like you often just see like a two-dimensional person when like the news is telling the story, because this makes a good story, is like this two-dimensional person. But people are complicated, lives are complicated, relationships are extremely complicated.
Absolutely.
So it's really good.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that was my little rant there, that you might end up with some like 90s women that were disparaged by the
As a matter
media.
of fact, I already have a 90s woman that I'm going to talk about on my list, so I hope you don't take one.
Well, yeah, that'll be the one thing where it's like, I'm almost positive you don't have. So, okay. So this is going to be like a long and a roundabout way. I decided I wanted to do a person, and then I found out that there wasn't a lot about them. And I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? Because I still want to do this person. So I kind of did this whole thing. Okay. So, all right. So here we go. I'm going to get started. All right.
Okay. I'm so ready. I'm buckled in.
You ready? Okay. So our story starts with the world's oldest national broadcaster, the BBC, which was founded October 18th of 1922. And I'm just going to give you some information, some background on the BBC, because I didn't know a lot about this. So it's funded primarily by an annual television license fee that is charged to all households, companies, and organizations using any type of equipment to receive or record live TV broadcast. So it's like, it's funded by like charging people.
Is it like a PBS then?
I guess it's kind of
like a public but like station.
It's for having the ability to stream it almost. So it's like you buy the product and then you get taxed to use the product.
It's almost like a public library situated television.
Yeah, it's like a PBS, but like a PBS cable. It's kind of
like HBO, PBS HBO.
Kind of, yeah. So in the early 1920s, the first live public broadcast was made, which was was a huge success. So it started off like radio. So early 1920s, it was radio, right? It was a huge success and prompted many licensing requests. However, officials held reservations about programs due to the due to the fact that they would interfere with important military and civilian communication. Like, keep in mind, this is like World War I, World War II, like right in that like time frame. So they're like, we'd love to let you guys use the radio, but it could interfere with important military stuff. But then by 1922, they had received 100 plus requests. And in an attempt to avoid the chaotic expansion experience in the US, so I need to delve into that, which I'm not going to today, but I want to look into like, how crazy was it when the US was like free market radio? Like, just think of how messy that would have been. Just like radio stations, like trying to fight each other for like,
well, it's kind of like
channels.
Before there was time zones, you know, like they didn't have time zones, so there were trains crashing into one another, and like, you know,
but like chaos. As radio waves, like everyone trying to like fight for different like radio waves, and I mean, I'm sure that the free market made it really, really hard.
Yeah.
So they formed a jointly owned company and made money on royalties on the sales of BBC wireless receiving sets from approved manufacturers. So like they would get royalties off of these like these wireless things that they would use, and people would buy so that they could get this broadcast, and that's how they did it. And so they were the British Broadcasting Company at this point. Okay. But in 1927, it becomes the British Broadcasting Corporation. And this is so British, and that's why I added it. It has its own coat of arms. The BBC does.
Oh, yeah. Of course it does.
And its motto is "Nation shall speak peace unto nation." So it's got a coat of arms with a motto because it's fucking nice. British.
And it's that whole coat of arms is drinking tea.
It's like just like. So while the U.S., Australia, and Canada broadcast public interests such as like sports, the BBC Director General Reith chose intensely moralistic, exclusive, upscale programming.
That's right. Drink that
tea. So instead of doing like sports like the US and Canada and Australia, which would be like rugby and basketball and baseball. I don't know if it was basketball, but like baseball and stuff.
Right.
Which is, like big working class sports. The BBC would only report on things like boat races, tennis. And so they wouldn't they wouldn't do anything on like, I would imagine it's been around since like the 1800s. I'm pretty
hip.
So like they wouldn't do things like they wouldn't do what was popular, which was like cricket and football. Football. Yeah. So until 1928, entertainers were expected to avoid biblical quotes, clerical impersonations and references. Sorry, man, she was pushing against my arm. References to drinking, American prohibition, because again, this is 20s, so you couldn't even talk about American prohibition, vulgarity, and doubtful material and political allusions. So they couldn't like talk about anything just even slightly unhinged. So they were like the royal family, because like the royal family is not supposed to seem like at all
aligned with anything. Yeah,
you're just like, hi, we're the royals, and so like that was
I'd be so bad like, at it. Look at my hand; it's like a fish. So I'm just kind of setting up like what the vibe was.
Sure.
Okay.
So they excluded popular music or popular foreign music. So you wouldn't get any like big band music from the US or anything like that. Sure. They wouldn't do that. It was only like British music, national British music.
So real exciting stuff.
Yes. Yes. So I mean, like real excited. They were cutting.
They were having a real raging time. Yeah.
Yeah. So in 1929, using a system developed by John Logie Bard, they were able to do a limited regular broadcast, and that like fully began. They started actually broadcasting in 1934, and expanded their service. So they became like BBC Radio and then BBC television service in 1934. So that's when like the TV station like became a TV station.
Like a visual means.
Yeah. That's when they actually started like broadcasting that way.
Sure.
And they started, again, I included this because it's so British. So they were recording and doing everything from the Alexander Palace.
Of course. As opposed to the Thomas Palace. Nobody wants to go there.
Yeah. So, and that's where they started in 1936 with like the broadcasting from there. Okay. So,
Alexander
Palace. So of course, being like, now that you have like a TV station, you're going to need like broadcasters. Like we would have like newscasters or something like that.
You need like MCs.
You need a person. Yeah. Essentially it would be an MC. Good point. Also because like your programming is all live. Remember, up until I Love Lucy, there's no recorded programming. Right. It's all live programming. Right. So it's like, we're going to bring in an orchestra. Like that's literally what they would do for television.
Yeah.
So anyways, so they put out a ad requesting unmarried and without red-haired women.
Why? What?
Yeah.
What does the red hair signify? The Irish? Do they not like?
I mean, it was the 20s, so probably. Like, let's be honest.
They were like, nah, fuck that.
Or the 30s. Could be that they didn't want to, or it was just unseemly. Yeah. So unmarried and without red-haired women.
That's weird and specific.
Oh, super specific. They held applications and interviews of 1,122 women.
Again, very specific.
I mean, like, yeah, for the position of hostess announcers. That's where they were referred to. They were referred to as hostess announcers.
Okay.
And among the applications, they recruited 2 women, Jasmine Bligh and Elizabeth Cowell.
What?
And that's why this is so silly. I Googled my married name and found out that Elizabeth Cowell was the first, like the first woman on TV. She was like the first. Yeah.
Whoa, so, that's wild.
Isn't that fun? Okay, so that's why I was like, wild. Mine is silly.
I was like, where is this going? Going?
Yeah, and then they recruited one man. His name was Leslie Mitchell.
I was going to say, if you say Michael Cowell, I swear to everything on this planet, I would run out this door. It would be hilarious. So I'm just going to show you the pictures of the people. So this is Elizabeth Cowell. Oh my gosh, what a dreamboat.
Yeah, that's Elizabeth Cowell.
Thank God she doesn't have red hair, I swear.
Right? Oh my God. This is Jasmine Bligh.
Whoa. What? Ooh.
That's Jasmine Bligh.
Look at those cheekbones. Dang,
this is the 2 of them together hanging out at a desk. You can't really see that one. Why is that one not coming up?
Can you send me the photos so I can save them?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just have to show you, this man is the epitome of a 1936 man that's going to be on TV and telling you stuff about today. And this...
Oh my God. That chin will not.
Right. And this is Leslie Mitchell. We are number 1, right?
We are the men of England and we tell you news. We are the men.
Look at this perfect mustache. I mean, come on, this guy.
He expects to have a nice hot cup of tea when he gets the fuck home. I tell you what.
Right? That guy is so, I mean, like, doesn't he look like somebody that's going to tell you the biz in the 1930s?
Listen here. He has a cigarette lit at all times.
All times.
Like, he's just all times.
He's like using one cigarette to light the next cigarette. And he's just like,
oh my God. He looked like a caricature of that time and place.
Right? Yeah. So, so they were chosen for their ability to speak clearly as well as their looks. And I wrote as well as their works, but I know better. It's their looks.
But I know better.
I know I meant looks. I didn't mean works. Okay. So there was some criticism of the choices due to the fact that they were both, like, I'm back to talking about the women, London society and not in need of a job. So they're, you know, like they're, you know,
rich. They're well off.
And they don't need to be working. Why are you stealing working girls? And they were like, of a certain, I don't have the paper on me, but they were of a certain like training. So it was like, you know, like a certain breed, a certain training. And then there was also much fanfare over the luxurious collection of clothes they acquired. So they were issued 2 evening gowns, skirts, and blouses. So they had 2 evening gowns for TV and skirts and blouses.
I mean, listen, I can't fault them. I would be like, hey, listen, wow, I look like I have a mullet now. Hold on.
Well, if you think about it, like think about everything I told you about how strict they were about their radio stations. You think that they're going to like drop that like for TV? Of course, it's like only the utmost societal television.
Right. I mean, they're sending out these, I mean, they want everything to be pristine for what people see England as being. Why would, now that they're being visually seen, right? Like, why would they?
They're going to choose high society women.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that it's correct thing to do.
No,
like, yes,
no,
of course
absolutely.
there are probably women from lower.
But like, why would you expect them to be like, you know what? Let's get old Audrey Hepburn's character from fucking what's that movie? My Fair Lady. And let's just send her before the makeover.
Eliza Doolittle. Let's find some Eliza Doolittle. Get her up here.
Let's send her over before she gets made over by Rex Harrison. How about that? Like, what?
Yeah. You know that they're gonna. Yeah. How were people even like surprised when they heard like BBC Radio is going to TV that it would be anything but, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyways. There were no teleprompters at that time, obviously. I don't know if you've ever seen a video, or not a video, but a picture of, I can't remember which president it was, but his presidential address. When teleprompters were new, obviously you didn't have like words up on a screen. It was like an actual like piece of paper that they would read from. And it was a scroll, like scrolling
like, didn't they like crank it kind of?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like, yeah, like
they had to
Star Wars.
Yeah. So boy, that's a lot of pressure.
But they didn't even have that yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So they didn't have that yet. So they had to deliver each word precisely from memory. Again, keep in mind, like how pristine everything had to be. They were chosen for their ability to speak. Like, how stressful would that be as a job?
Why didn't they think of cue cards before?
Because it was never a thing.
I guess it was brand new.
Like, so it was 100% brand new.
Why would they? That was silly of me. Those big dummies. Why wouldn't they think of something that's never been invented before? Duh.
So, and this is something I didn't know. I was learning interesting facts about the BBC. So on September, so like this all starts again. Un momento, por favor. This all starts in 1936. So that's when like they first start doing television stuff. September 1st of 1939, the BBC television service was suspended due to World War II.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, leaving it up to BBC Radio to keep spirits up. So, I mean, just think about it. It's this new medium, and war's literally at your door.
Yeah.
So it just
they got blitzed.
It just stops. Like and all you have left is the radio. So like,
what did they do? What did all those people that were working at the BBC like televisions do? Did they have to go to radio or?
Well, so none of them went to radio that I saw. So the radio stayed like generally with the radio people. Wells. Orson Welles? Yes. He actually did BBC radio during this time.
Boy, he was a babe, and then he got not babe-like at all.
He aged.
He got very big.
You know who was a babe and then is not? Christopher Walken. That guy blows my mind every time I see young pictures of him. It's just true. And then I see him dance and I'm like, I get it. Mm-hmm. I get that.
I think the creepiness of him still attracts me.
Slightly attractive.
Yeah.
Really, you think of him in stuff like Catch Me If You Can.
I have a weird taste.
All right. It's not. Nothing will ever top my little sister being like, I don't know, Danny DeVito.
That is the weirdest,
right? Anyways, I got off track.
I know we did, but that's okay. We're allowed sometimes. I'm sorry. I asked you a question. We started talking about Orson Welles. Then we got into our taste in men. We're allowed. Anyways, keep educating. Anyways,
so on June 18th, 1940, French General Charles de Gaulle, who was in exile in London as leader of the Free French, made a speech broadcast on BBC urging the French people not to capitulate to the Nazis. So like this, they were using it to be like,
hey, don't surrender or something. Don't go with
essentially, them. Yeah. I meant to look up the exact meaning of that word and I forgot.
What is it? Spell it out.
It is capitulate.
It means to cease to resist an opponent or unwelcome demand.
So don't surrender.
Don't surrender.
Don't surrender.
We were right. We are right in our guess. We're so smart.
Contextual clues. We got this.
Yeah.
I live my life on contextual clues.
We know how to read things.
So like, of course, World War II finally ends, BBC comes back, and then upon resuming, the first words spoken on the BBC TV service were, "Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Do you remember me, Jasmine Bly?" And that's how they resumed their broadcasting, which I thought was really cute.
And she's drinking her tea in her evening gown, and everybody else is like blown up, and they're like, yeah.
You remember me?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Well, and then so she spoke for about 30 minutes and then she introduced a Mickey Mouse cartoon, which was actually the last thing that had been shown
before.
And so they resumed the Mickey Mouse cartoon.
It's like nothing happened. They're like, pretend. That's such another English thing to have done. Like, let's just go on like fine. It didn't happen, guys.
We don't have to talk about it. Let's not talk about it. Elizabeth also returned to the BBC in 1946, as well as voiced the woman that year. She voiced the woman on Paul Rotha's documentary Land of the Promise. I'm so sorry. But during the war, she had married Captain Alistair Balford, who was the lord of a Scottish estate. And soon she left the BBC. And then all it says about her is that she passed in 98. Like, I looked everywhere.
That's a long time.
Yeah, 1998. Oh, yeah. So, but I mean, like, that was the end of Elizabeth's story. And that's when I was like, well, what am I going to do? Because I wanted to tell the story of Elizabeth.
Me.
But like I imagine that scene in have you seen Mona Lisa's Smile? Very, very.
I've only seen it one time, and gosh, it was probably when it came out.
There is Julia. What's that
Roberts'
actress's name?
Stiles.
But she is in that.
Julia Stiles. Love her.
It's Julia Stiles and Julia Roberts, right? Yes,
both the Julias.
So Julia Stiles' character is like really, really smart, and like Julia Roberts is like pressing her, like, what are you going to do after school? And she's like, oh, I'm going to get married. And Julia Roberts is like, and then what? And she's like, well, then I'm going to be married. And that's what this reminds me of. She war happened. She gets married, and they're like, "Oh,
it's like some people chose that path at that time." It's like, okay,
and
married a war general. So, there I am.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna go with my lord of the Scottish estate. We're gonna go live on the Scottish estate.
Listen here, I can't say that I wouldn't do the same thing though.
Yeah. But so anyways, that's literally her story. I could not find anything else about her. It's just her story ended there. And then she passed away in 1998. So anyways, oh shit, I was supposed to bring up
what if she changed her name to Betty LeRoux? Wouldn't that be wild?
Be hilarious. It would have been funny if Alistair Balford's last name was LeRoux, but he was Scottish. I meant to say that the press at the time described the two as the twin paragons. And then Blight continued to work with the BBC when the BBC returned to its regular television service. So like they came back in 46, but then they like fully came back, and only Blight came back when they fully came back. And then Jasmine became a star in and of herself, performing daring escapades such as being given a fireman's lift and being driven about in a motorcycle sidecar. So she was a wild woman.
In a sidecar?
Yeah.
What a daredevil.
Crazy. Just insane.
Just call her Evil Knievel-esque.
But I just love the idea of them like in the 30s, like trying to like catch her, and she or 40s, I guess it'd be the 40s, and trying to catch her in her little like sidecar. Oh, it's so cute. Super cute. And then in the 1950s, I thought this was pretty wonderful. So anyways, I was like, what am I going to do after this? And like, tell Jasmine's story. Like these are two,
I could tell the two choices women at this point.
Right? I'm telling the story of the beginning of the BBC and the first women broadcasters.
Yeah.
So, and they were both the first women broadcasters. So I'm going to tell Jasmine's story, the rest of her story. Awesome. So in 1950s, she presented BBC's Television for Deaf Children.
Aww.
I thought was like really sweet. I'm like, why don't they do more of that sort of stuff?
You said that was in the 50s?
In the 50s. She did it.
There's not even something like that now.
Now, right? I'm like, they did this in the 50s. Why don't we have, okay, so
I mean, there's closed captioning now, I guess, but like,
so I guess all TV is essentially, but I think it would be like
if there was more signing and stuff, that would be way cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was like a really cool thing that she did, and but also like the BBC, like of course American television did this too. I don't know if you, I mean, like know this, but the thought of television was like, oh, we're going to be so smart. We're going to be able to share all this information, and we're going to be showing like Shakespeare, and we're going to teach each other. And like the BBC really fucking tried.
Yeah.
Whereas America was like, sitcoms?
Yeah.
Sitcoms.
Yeah. We should probably do sitcoms.
We should probably do sitcoms. But then again, it's the same thing with the internet. We're like, we're going to be so smart. Everything's going to be interconnected. And then America's like, conspiracy theories? Probably conspiracy
false information?
Theories. Yeah, false information. Yeah. Anyways, so, but yeah, the BBC actually, like, it really fucking tried. And I still think they probably have better education. I mean, like, it's all PBS. Because I mean, like, I seriously could sit around and watch PBS and the BBC all day long, and I would love it because you still get your murders, and B, I would feel smart as hell. So she continued to be on television until the 1970s. Oh my God, these headphones are killing my.
I know, that's why mine are right here instead.
Yeah. Whew. So she continued to be on television until the 1970s. And lastly, she was a presenter of Good Afternoon. So she was on a television program called Good Afternoon in the 70s. So she was around for, I mean, like, can you imagine watching a medium change the way she did and being involved the whole time? Like, she was there for the birth all the way through the 70s.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Shit, right?
So much. Like, she saw like rock and roll be born.
Yeah. She was there when, like, she probably had to do interviews with the Beatles and stuff.
Yeah.
She was there for all of it.
Yeah.
So I just think it's like pretty
crazy.
Pretty amazing.
Crazy.
So she married She married 3 times and had 1 daughter. Her name was, oh no, I thought I put it down. I think it was Sarah. Oh God, I forgot to put it down. And she had 1 daughter. And then after her 3rd husband fell ill in 1967, she set up a secondhand store to sell her wealthy friends' clothes called Bargains. And I just love that.
Bargains.
I'm going to sell my wealthy friends.
All of my friends' wares here at Bargains.
All my wealthy friends' clothes. It reminds me of Parks and Rec when he opens up his store. Have you seen Parks and Rec?
I have.
Okay, where he like opens up a store where he like lends out his like fashion to teenagers.
Oh yeah,
because they grow out of it so quick. I'm just like, oh, my fancy clothes. I'm gonna sell all my friends' fancy clothes. It's called Bargains. You're gonna get some top rate threads here.
Oh God, Bargains. That's
Bargains. Funny. It's cute, right? Her 3rd husband, Howard Marshall, who is a BBC cricket broadcaster, passed away in 1973. And then Jasmine, this is super sad to me, she suffered a stroke in 81, which left her with speech difficulties.
Oh. When somebody is so known for their speech and they lose it, it's
like losing the ability to like communicate and speak, and that's what you were known for. It's like
if like a vocalist loses, like when Julie Andrews like lost the ability to sing, it's like
it's like so
that's
sad.
What you are, you know,
like, it's sad in general.
Yeah.
But then you add like, but this is who they are.
Right.
And then she passed away 10 years later in 1991. So, and that is the story of the beginning of television broadcast, the beginning of the BBC, and the first women to ever be television broadcasters. That's and there awesome. Were 2 of them, and they were like very first. There was only 1 man and 2 women. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's like Revolution Rosies status.
That is Revolution Rosies status. It's super cool, and like you never think about it or hear about it. Television just always was. It's really like our kids think about the internet and you like.
Oh, I know. When we talked to Winston about how like I kind of was like the first to have internet always around. You know, like Casey did not. Like he was like in his 20s by the time internet was around. But like I was kind of born into a house that always kind of had it. But like it's crazy to like Winston. He is like, what? Like the internet? Like that's always here. Like
I had it in high school at my parents' house, and then I didn't get it in my home when I moved out of the house. Like any of the homes I was in, any place that I lived, I didn't have it until John. Mm-hmm. And then after that I'd always had it. So I mean, like I was 23 before it was a staple in my house outside of my parents' house, where it wasn't like a luxury.
Yeah.
Which is insane to think about.
It is. I feel like it's always been pretty prevalent in our house, but I came from a different type of family, I guess.
Well, my parents were very like reluctant to get it, but then I think that they felt pressured from like school, which is crazy because we had like computer labs at my school and like a computer in each classroom, which was funded, I think, by Pepsi, which is why we had Pepsi machines everywhere.
That's weird.
Well, that's how you keep kids eating sugar.
That's true. We came from the country too, but I don't know that our school is funded by soda, which is weird.
Well, to make it better,
all fat.
Well, to make it better, they they would have like, well, you know, we've got some soda, but we also have Fruitopia.
Right.
It's like
a hey, we have juices.
Juice. That's good. There's water bottles in there too. And
like they have a choice. It's like you're going to give free will to a frickin' middle schooler.
Powerade too. We also had Powerade.
It's like that's pure sugar too.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of British folks, there's also a show called Very British Problems. Have you ever seen that?
No. That sounds awesome.
It is very awesome. Do you have Amazon Prime?
I do.
It's on there. It's very good.
obviously excited to watch The Marvelous Miss Maisel and Fleabag.
Oh, yeah. So I have not watched either of those, but I know you watched Fleabag.
So you have to watch Fleabag.
Yeah, I've heard you talk nothing but high praises of Fleabag, so I have to watch it. But
and my girl from Fleabag and my man,
I know, I saw, is going to be on Mr. and Mrs. Smith or something, right?
Yeah, they're going to be doing a Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Amazon, I think it is.
Yeah, and I thought I saw that.
Like I'm beyond to see the two of it. That is, I'm hot thinking about
it. Slide over here.
It's like a slip and slide over here. It's so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Like, why would we want to ever leave our houses again?
I know. Why do we even have to come out of quarantine or anything?
Except to see our friends, to go watch more shows with our friends. Like, why would we?
Speaking of why would we ever want to? Why would we ever want to leave the house again? So here we are in our igloo, and the waitress comes in, and my little sister is like, "You look so great. You have great eyelashes." Talking to the waitress, she's like, "Are those like false lashes?" And the waitress is like, "Yeah, they're falsies." Blah blah blah. And I turned to her and I was like, "They're egg salad." I mean, excellent. I just said egg salad. I don't come out in public a lot. And Danae they're egg salad. And she goes, and the waitress was like, "I love egg salad." And I was like, oh my God. I say egg salad instead of excellent all the time, but not normally in like public settings. And I mean excellent. They're really great. And Danae is just like losing it because I told the waitress her eyelashes were egg salad. Because I don't go in public anymore.
Oh no. We don't know how to act around humans anymore. And if anybody expects us to know how at this point, they're fucking wrong. And that's mean of them to assume.
Yeah.
At this point.
All I can say, guys, is when you do go back out in public, tip well, be kind, and patient. Patience, guys. Find patience. Find it, center it. I know you're going to want everything and you're going to want it right now, but find patience and center it, because like, don't be mean to people. We were all cooped up for a year. Like, you're going to have to be nice. Just be nice. Try to be nice. Remember everything we've been through and just be nice.
Like, it's not hard. It's not hard.
No, it's not hard. It's not. I mean, it can be hard. I've had moments where I'm just like,
oh, yeah. I mean, for sure. But you know how to be a fucking decent human. So,
yeah. I mean, like, that's one of the things that I've been telling people a lot lately is like, just be patient. Everyone's exhausted. Everyone is like at their wits' end. You just have to find patience. So, anyways, that's it.
Cool. I love it. Awesome. Fantastic. Well, I didn't know any of that, and it's not something I thought about ever.
Yeah. No, like I said, I Googled my married name just to see, like, are there any of us out there? And it was really kind of cool to find out that the first woman to be on BBC television was Elizabeth Cowell. Like,
every time I Google my name, it comes up with like normal LinkedIn profiles. So nothing real cool there.
Yeah.
No offense, y'all keep doing your grind, but
I mean, I definitely had those as well, but like the first thing that popped up was, "Oh, do you mean this person?"
And which it's like, wow, yes, I do.
Yes, I do. That's actually exactly what I meant. And that's exactly what I was looking for. So
that is really, really cool. I
hope you enjoyed this grab bag.
I did. And my person is nowhere even close to that topic.
Not British and super like proper?
Not, well, probably on the proper side, but not from here either.
So I'm super excited. This will be fun.
Yeah. So, cool. All right. Well,
until next time, rate us, subscribe, check us out. Friends. Tell your friends. Please tell your friends. Send us information about women you'd like us to do, because we're doing all sorts now. So
we're doing all of them.
If you're like, oh my God, you guys are talking about this subject, why didn't you talk about this person? Send them to us. You get a 90s woman that like definitely got slighted by the media because they all fucking did. Send her to us. Like,
not all of them did. Some of them got super high praises and probably maybe shouldn't have.
Yeah, that happened too.
I won't say any names, but
but yeah. So yes, find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Twitter may be a little hazy right now because I got a new phone and I forget the password. So
oh man, that's how I got logged out of Twitter for a really long time.
But just bear with me on that one, but everything else is solid. If you have any ideas of who you want to hear about, our email address is revolutionrosies@gmail.com.
And that's Rosies, Rosies.
That's right. And that's the same for our Twitter handle and our Facebook. But I'm sorry, Facebook and Instagram handle. Yes. Twitter is ROSYS because Twitter is a big dumpster fire. But again,
you're still there.
Oh, and we're on YouTube. That's what this is for.
You can see us on YouTube. Yeah, that's why I put on lipstick.
That's why we put makeup
on. Only reason I put on lipstick. Oh yeah, I put on a little bit of makeup and some lipstick today.
It is for your visual viewing pleasure, just like the BBC. We are as classy as the BBC ladies. Look at us. I have a candle, a plant, a big giant rose quartz. Look at that thing. It's huge. It's massive. It's a weapon. And then pistachios and a cup.
My laptop is acting real funky, or I would be doing this on my laptop. And I have a wall started over here that I'm going to start. Yeah. It's local art stuff. So.
Oh, like mine.
I know, like yours. I was like, I want to do our office in local art stuff. So
we can match.
Meow, 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 meow.
Oh my gosh, yes!
So I've got other stuff to put up, but yeah.
So yeah, and so find us on YouTube, Revolution Rosies, on there as well. Send us all of your ladies you want to hear about, and heck, it could be your mom. I don't care. We want to shout out everyone because we love you and we love them.
Actually, you. May is coming up, so if you guys want to send us your badass moms, I would love to shout out some badass moms this May.
Oh yeah. Hey, May is coming up, and we want to shout out your badass moms. Thanks. In the meantime, though,
smear lipstick.
And raise some hell, babies. Bye.
Bye.